In 360 BC, the philosopher Plato wrote something that would haunt humanity for over 2,000 years.
He described a civilization so advanced, so powerful, it made Athens look primitive.
An island empire beyond the Pillars of Hercules, larger than Libya and Asia combined.
Plato claimed it existed 9,000 years before his time, in the Atlantic Ocean.
A naval superpower with armies, technology, and wealth that dominated the ancient world.
But here's what made scholars question everything. Plato swore this wasn't fiction.
This is not fiction!
The story came from my ancestor Solon, who heard it from Egyptian priests.
Priests who kept records going back thousands of years, records Athens had lost.
They told of Atlantis' ultimate fate, destroyed in a single day and night.
But Plato included one terrifying detail that scholars still debate. Was he describing history or prophecy?
According to Plato, Atlantis began ages ago to protect a mortal woman
Named Clito on an isolated island.
The island was carved into perfect rings, 3 of water, 2 of land.
Their descendants built a capital that gleamed with gold, silver, and a mysterious metal called orichalcum.
Ships from across the known world came to trade, making Atlantis the richest nation ever recorded. Plato wrote that their armies conquered parts of Europe and Africa, threatening even Athens. Their engineers created water systems and bridges that wouldn't be matched for millennia. But as generations passed, something changed.
The Atlanteans grew proud, greedy. They forgot they were once blessed.
Atlantis planned to enslave the entire world, but the Atlanteans made one fatal mistake that sealed their doom.
Their fatal mistake? They tried to challenge the higher power.
Plato wrote it happened in a single day and night, around 9600 BC. It began with earthquakes, not one, but violent swarms that shattered the earth.
The circular walls that took generations to build collapsed in minutes.
Then the ocean did something terrifying. It pulled back, exposing the seafloor.
A wall of water, taller than their tallest towers, rose on the horizon. The tsunami struck with the force of 1,000 armies, drowning everything.
Within hours, the entire island, its rings, and people sank beneath the waves. Where the greatest empire once stood, only empty ocean remained. Modern archaeologists have searched for 150 years. No trace has ever been found. And then, something impossible happened to the evidence. Here's what makes Atlantis different from every other lost city. It left nothing behind. Troy, Pompeii, Machu Picchu, all lost, all found. But Atlantis? Not a single coin, brick, or bone. Scientists say that's actually the smoking gun, because of what 11,000 years does to evidence. Underwater currents bury everything under hundreds of feet of sediment and mud. And if Atlantis sat on a subduction zone, the entire island could have been pulled into the Earth's mantle. But here's where it gets stranger. Some scholars think the evidence never existed. They argue Plato invented Atlantis as a political allegory, a warning about corrupt empires. Others think he was describing a real place, but got the location or date completely wrong. The island of Thera, modern Santorini, was destroyed by a volcanic eruption around 1600 BC. Could Plato's dates have been off by 8,000 years? But in 2011, one scientist claimed they'd found it in the last place anyone expected. Here's what makes Atlantis different from every other lost city. It left nothing behind. Professor Richard Freund's team found something buried under the mudflats of southern Spain. Circular formations, canal systems, geometric patterns, exactly matching Plato's description. Ground-penetrating radar revealed walls, buildings, and a multi-ring structure buried 20 feet deep. The layout matched Plato's account almost perfectly, 3 rings of water, 2 of land. But here's what convinced them: they found a massive tsunami deposit layer. Dating suggested a massive tsunami struck this coast between 800 and 500 BC. But Spain isn't the only candidate. Scientists have proposed over 40 different locations. The Bimini Road, underwater stone formations some claim are ancient harbor walls. Most geologists say they're natural beach rock, Then scientists tested the soil and found something that changed everything. The soil tests came back, and they showed exactly what geologists predicted. Natural river deposits, coastal erosion, and tidal patterns, not the remains of a lost city.
Today, the overwhelming scientific consensus is clear. Atlantis, as Plato described it, never existed.
But here's what scholars believe Plato was actually doing, teaching through story, where the navigator is ignored and chaos follows.
Atlantis was a warning. What happens when civilizations choose power over virtue, greed over wisdom?
But Plato likely heard real stories. The Minoan civilization on Thera, destroyed by volcanic eruption around 1600 BC. They had advanced architecture, indoor plumbing, vibrant art, a Bronze Age superpower. Stories of their catastrophic end spread across the Mediterranean, reaching Egypt, where Plato's ancestor heard them centuries later. Every culture has flood myths, stories of golden ages lost to catastrophe. Atlantis isn't in the ocean, it's in us. And the wisdom to know that empires rise and fall on the choices we make.